Hello, good morning, Mr. Petra and all friends. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Desti Putri Tariska. My student ID number 140-142-1254. The Bay and Canary Bird. There is a family who has lived in a city for a long time. They have four members, namely Tony, her younger sister named Cindy, and her parents. They are already 6 years of the city. Tony and Cindy are brother and also friends in their daily life. They are only 1 year apart in age. Tony, who is 6 years old, is now studying in kindergarten. When the year-end holiday arrives, they have planned to visit their hometown and visit their grandparents. Tony's father then reported to them and his mother. They agreed to this plan. Everyone agreed with the plan. Tony's father immediately bought the train ticket. After, after Tony's father came home, Tony asked his father, "Where are we going get today?" said Tony. Tony's father replied, "We will be there next week. Since today is Monday, they will visit the village next Monday." Tony was happy because he had never been on vacation and had never been to his hometown. The day before they left was Sunday. Tony was excited to prepare the things he brought to his hometown. He prepared clothes to church and didn't forget to bring some of his toys. All of that was put in a suitcase that his mother had made. After finishing preparing everything to Big Brock, Tony went straight to his room to rest and also set an alarm so he could wake up in the morning, but couldn't sleep because his vacation was tomorrow. His father appraised Tony in the room and asked Tony, "Why haven't you slept yet, son?" said father. Tony also replied, "I cannot sleep, father. It's time for bed so I can wake up tomorrow morning soon," said the father, who was turning off the light in his room. Tony alarm goes off, ring ring. Tony woke up and turned off the alarm. Then he came out of room to see his father and mother who had woken up first. He immediately rushed into the bedroom to take a shower. After Tony finished, he went to his mother who was cooking. He also helped prepare food in the dining room. They all gathered in the dining room for breakfast. Because his house was far from the station, they quickly finished their breakfast and it was already 6 in the morning. The journey the station take 1 horse. When they arrive at the station, they go straight to the waiting place for the train to come. After waiting for 30 minutes, the train arrived and they immediately got into the train carriage. The train they were riding was running fast. On the way to their hometown, they were joking and saying the beauty of the green rice field on their left side made their eyes fresh. Half of the journey they took made them feel bored because they were bored, and finally they had lunch with the provision they brought. After a long day of traveling and finally arriving at the station they were going to, his father immediately looked for a taxi for the trip to the village. Finally finding a taxi, they immediately took the taxi ordered by his father. The station is far from home. It takes 1 horse. Tony cannot wait to get to the village to meet his grandparents. And finally arrived in front of the village in stretch during the trip present a very beautiful view because in the village nature is still awake. After a few minutes, they arrived in front of the grandfather house and his grandfather greeted them in the front yard of the house. Tony parents went into the house because they were tired from the trip. But Tony and Cindy still missed their lodging with their grandparents in the yard. I was getting late in the afternoon. Tony, Cindy, her grandparents entered this house. At midnight, Tony woke up hungry, but he was lazy to get out of his bedroom, and finally he continued his sleep. When it's the morning around 5 a.m., Tony wakes up hearing the sound of chicken. Kukuruyuk, kukuruyuk. He was surprised by the song of the chicken because he lived in the city, so he never had the sound of chicken in the morning. At breakfast, Tony asked his father, Grandpa, this morning I heard the sound of a chicken. Is it true that the sound of a chicken? Said Tony. Everyone in the dining room laughed, and what Tony said, Grandpa answered, Yes, that's right. Indeed, in the village, the sound of chicken in the morning is normal. But I don't have one at my place, Grandpa, said Tony. His grandfather also explained with a laugh. Most of the town don't have chicken, but in the village, every house must have a pet like that chicken, said Grandpa. Tony replied, Oh, yes, Grandpa. Breakfast was finished and it was still morning. Tony took his grandfather to go for a walk around the village. His grandfather also wanted to obey the wishes of the grandchildren. His grandfather took Tony a small hut in the corner of the village to rest while enjoying the fresh air on the edge of small stream. Because it was getting late at noon, they finally went home. On the way home, there was an aged daughter. His grandfather also invited Tony to buy the dawat es. Because Tony was also thirsty and finally wanted to buy dawat es. Buy to dawat, Grandpa said. Okay, Grandpa. That Grandpa Gerson said the sailor as he handed the order dawat. Yes, This my grandson who is from the city returning home, said the grandfather. After the finished drinking I thought they finally went home. It was time for lunch. His grandmother called Tony to have lunch together. Tony went into the house and went to the dining room. At night, they gathered in the family room for television together while enjoying hot tea and boiled cassava. Because their preoccupation did not realize that is wallet at night. They finally finished watching television and headed to their respective room to sleep at night. In the morning, his grandpa took Tony and Cindy to learning gardening in the backyard. Because gardening is the livelihood of the grandparents, while heading to Tony's backyard, he was surprised by a bird. Tony asked his grandfather, what bird is this? Said Tony while looking at the bird. Grandpa replied, this is a parrot who will always look after grandfather's garden. Oh, that parrot that can take like a strike, Grandpa, sighed Tony. Grandmother replied, yes, the bird can talk because grandmother's garden is often damaged by other animals, so this bird is guarding this garden. Try to talk to him later, he will answer, Grandpa said. Hello, said Tony to the parrot, and the parrot answered, hello, with the parrot's distinctive voice. After that, they immediately learned gardening such as planting cassava and vegetables such as chili and papaya. They were taught how to plant, care for the plant, and clean fallen leaves around the plant. After they finished, they cleaned it up because their clothes were dirty. After a few days, Tony was sitting under a papaya tree in his grandfather's garden. Suddenly, there was a sound, chit, chit, chit. It turned out to be the sound of the bunch of canaries. A bunch of canaries wanted to eat papaya. Because Tony immediately looked for a small rock and threw them at the flock of birds. And finally, the flock of birds left. Because Tony was asleep, he went into the house to sleep. But before going to bed, he told his grandfather that there was a group of canaries who wanted to papaya, but his grandfather ignored him because he was used to plant being eaten bird. Suddenly, a flock of birds come back. Hey, canary, where did you come, Hedgan? Said the parrot. One of the canaries approached the parrot. My friend and I are hungry to find food in the garden, said the canary. Don't expect you to take it. I will report you to my master, said Bill. You'll be here again tonight. When you're asleep, Bill, ha ha ha, sighed Canary. At night, suddenly a flock of canary came. They hid behind a big tree watching the parrot. Bill was Fast asleep, the group was in action eating their master papaya. But suddenly Bill woke up to see a flock of birds, then he catched them away, and finally they left. In the morning, Grandpa and Tony came and were suddenly surprised because they had eaten a lot of papaya leaves. Grandpa Tony was confused and he asked Bill, "What is the war at my papaya fruits?" Grandpa said, "Bill replied, the canary came to eat papaya last night." Because his grandfather was furious, he and Tony finally wanted to set a trap for the canary. The pallet trap was finished and the was on the ripe papaya because the canary liked ripe fruit. After the finished installing, Grandpa and Tony took the cage. The day began in the afternoon. They were getting ready behind the tree to trap the bird. Suddenly a flock of birds came, but only a pair of canaries were hit by the pallet trap. The other canaries had not been caught by the trap. Grandpa and Tony came out of hiding and caught the pair of canary and put them in a cage. After Grandpa and Tony returned home with the cage containing the bird. Because Tony was sleeping, he was trying to bedroom. In the morning, they returned to the garden and found that their idea had worked and the papaya were not eaten by all the birds. Tony returned home. He took the pair of canary to feed. Because Tony is a boy, he likes the bird, so he wanted to keep it. Since his vacation was about to end, Tony's father decided to return to the city in the afternoon. They were sad because they had to part with their grandparents. In It was getting late in the afternoon. They had been picked up by a taxi and did not forget that the pair of canary were brought by Tony as a souvenir from his grandfather. He promised his grandfather to take care of the bird as best he could. For the image element, I took from Google and Pinterest. Thank you for your attention.